Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have any questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached.
Around?
That is one of the ways. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those of you that need instant gratification in this millennial-based world. And of course, the show's Twitter feed is at Skimpod. That's SKIMPOD. For the more patient amongst you, which is none of us, let's be honest, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again, being spelled with a K. We're also available via Apple Podcast, something I've never heard of, Stitcher Radio. Are any of you still using that shit? TuneIn Radio, whatever the fuck that is, I couldn't tell you. Google Play, I've heard of that. I don't use it, but if you do, thank you. Spotify, now that one I use, so find us on there. I know we're on there. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Now I ask that you please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show, because honestly, I don't do that shit. And I need someone to pick up my slack. Now, I hear that there is a group of people here that collectively discuss music, and they provide for you, yes you, a pod called Cast. It's a musical discussion show built on a hip-hop foundation, which seems to be what makes the musical world turn these days, and I hear it's pretty swell. Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, The Real ODP, and your host, Internet's Tasty Tayrell713.
You go to Blaze Pizza?
Hey, yo, it's ill when I'm heated how my heart stay cold. I write a rhyme to make the gats around the map explode. Now behold the burning mallets of a treacherous soul. First time I shot a gun, Duke, I was 12 years old. But since then, I never put her down, my friend. She go to war when I tell her fuck a who, why, when, till the end. Indeed, it's good to have and not need. Even better when you can't shoot back and not bleed. Take heed. I'm popping like an elk full of seed. My team be getting bigger, got more mouths to feed. Shorty, let me tell you about my only vice. It got to do with lots of money and it ain't nothing nice. It ain't nothing nice. Ranch, dressing, cool, sandwich. Yeah. I'll roll, I guess. It's not really necessary. Then don't worry, it's a sandwich coming my way. That's pretty bread to begin with. Happy New Year. It's the first one we recorded in 2020. Stays Crunchy and Milk. We back in this bitch again.
This felt like a very aggressive opening.
This sounded looks sad as fuck. Actually, it's like the Beat Nuts, and they're so like such a laid back group. It's so fun. I laugh. I love that particular song. But I was like, this is gonna be the one. This is one that's gonna put the Beat Nuts over, because they had a single with that.
That's ridiculous.
It looked like bacon.
That was a baby give me that ass, which is the exact same track that Will Smith used on the Men in Black track, which was the one that blew up that same summer. So what was that, like summer 97, 98? The exact same music. I mean, the exact same music was boom, boom. We got the Men in Black. Or they had a song called "Baby, Won't You Give Me That Ass." So it's like they were so close but so far. Thank you, there, lady. Got it. Yep.
What'd you pack today?
So I got back to packing this week after having been slacking for a while now. And so Sunday I took about 5 pounds of 90-10 ground beef.
Okay.
And I browned it and seasoned it up. And then I cut up 2 big sweet onions and sauteed those with some jalapeno peppers. And then I had like the freezer bags, the steam bag broccoli.
Yeah.
And so I steamed one of those bags yesterday, and I poured a bunch of it into the Tupperware, and then put the meat, onions, and jalapenos over top of it, and then I sprinkled in some queso cheese. So
your hitter.
Yeah, I mean, it puts it together for me. It's got this like taco bowl feel to it, but it's over broccoli.
It's like a casserole without noodles.
For me, it's like beef and broccoli meets Chipotle. I like it, and like I can get like this is already be my 4th meal out of it, and I still have half the container left.
Yeah.
So like the beef was like $14. A giant ass bag of onions is like $5-6. Like the jar of jalapenos was $3.85, and like I got multiple uses out of that. And then the container of queso was like $6. I mean, so for what was that, like $30-some, I made like a bunch of meals. Because I mean, like the queso, queso will last me probably about a week or so if I'm like piecing it out.
Yeah.
The onions I bought like a month ago. Like I've used those a couple times already. Like I still have like 2/3 of the bag left.
You need to start writing you
You
a
get a
book.
Samsung bag of onions?
Yeah.
Like a size of a baby?
Yeah.
You got to write you a book like low cost, low carb or some shit, man. You can probably lock down the industry, man.
Dude, I love going to the Sam's Club now and just searching for shit.
See what you come upon.
Yeah, because like I like going to the meat section and like looking at the different cuts, and I love looking for the reduced for quick sale stickers and shit. It's like a treasure hunt.
What you guys do on New Year's?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Literally went home. And that was the plan, was to do nothing.
Well, I didn't know if y'all ended up in anybody's houses or whatever like that.
I made absolutely no attempt to try and do anything with anybody. I went home. I made dinner. I stopped at Sam's Club. Funny and oddly enough. And I bought steak and like some sides and stuff, and I cooked myself a nice little fancy dinner. And then I just sat on the couch and I watched last three episodes of The Mandalorian.
Right on.
Well,
See that last episode.
It was definitely interesting, and I'm glad it ended on a way where like I have something to look forward to.
Yeah. And what? And your New Year, sir?
I think I cooked dinner. I don't remember. That was so long ago. And then, sent the boy. We let the boys stay up like a little late.
Yeah.
Not midnight late, but a little late. And then me and Janice went out. We have I think from like when we first moved in, or maybe from like the previous house. Sky lanterns.
I saw the video. It seemed very dangerous.
Yeah, she's scared of it, but I mean,
It wasn't that I was like afraid of the lantern, or I'd be afraid of the lantern. I'd be afraid of the lantern taking like a weird turn and like hitting a tree and then burning the tree down or something like that.
but like it's highly
Flammable.
yeah, it is not necessarily highly flammable, but it's like highly biodegradable. So if it burns like really fast.
Yeah.
So it's not going to get a chance in the dead of winter to when like the ground is moist and the trees are. I mean, if it catches on fire, it's not going to be on fire for long. It's not. It wouldn't get on. It wouldn't take long for like in a drier season if it was like hot or something like that. Or if you lived in California or Arizona
Or Australia.
or Australia. But
I didn't make the fire. Don't fucking poo-poo me.
man, I'm tired of seeing no burnt ass koalas.
I'm like that upsets me, seeing like the animals and all that being sad and dying and shit. I know someone's gonna be like, what about the people? Like, man, let me just feel bad about what I feel
I feel bad about it all, but at the end of the day, it's like you're just exacerbating the problem by showing pictures of them. Like, I can't fucking help nobody in Australia.
Man, I came so close to pulling a Gabe on Saturday or Sunday night, where I went on Twitter and someone had retweeted some shit into my feed where it was a lady and she was calling Kourtney Kardashian a bitch. Basically, she was telling her like, you're rich and you have a private plane. You should donate some money and do what you can to help these people instead of just posting pictures on Twitter. And then she ended it with bitch. And I retweeted it, and I said something to the effect of like, people like this have their contemporaries are the ones that are actually watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That shit doesn't watch itself. So my thing is like, you're mad at her for having money, and like, I'm not like a Kardashian stan, but I'm just like,
I don't think I've ever heard you talk about them ever.
I openly admit I've nutted off to Kim's asses back in the day. I've seen that Ray J porn. Like,
Who hasn't? Even though that is the most boring porn of all time.
Every time we bring it up, we say that exact time.
I know. But like, my point was like, you want someone to help. One, like, they're not under any obligation necessarily to help. Morally, yes, we would like people to be willing to offer a helping hand. But to think that because they have money that they're obligated to, I think is crazy. And then for you to like basically insult them while you're telling them to help, I thought was like a poor way of going about it.
Yeah. I mean, first, that lady's, it doesn't matter. All the Kardashians, they're pretty much moms, right?
Mm-hmm.
One.
I'm pretty sure they all are at this point.
Yeah. They're all moms.
Yeah.
One.
And
Two.
the dad.
Oh,
Wrong.
I forgot all about fucking Rob.
Yeah, when I think of Kardashians,
Yeah, I
he
don't even
doesn't
think
come to
about-
mind. I ain't trying to fuck that
I like
one.
that he been laying low ever since he did that revenge porn. So yeah, she's a mom. Like, let her protect her kids. Like that's and like it's still a very dangerous situation right now. Like, flying in. Where are you gonna fly into?
That was my see. This is where I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
Because the woman replied to me,
Oh,
and I looked at her page, and she's got like thousands of followers.
oh.
And let me pull it up.
Also, just on the low, she don't know what money they done donated to what causes.
That's part
I
of
don't
my.
think that too, but yeah.
I'm saying they could have been putting money on this forever ago. So it's like, who are you?
Okay. So I initially said people like this screaming at celebrities for being rich when it's their contemporaries that help make these people rich in the first place. Keeping up with the Kardashians doesn't watch itself.
Okay.
And so Kourtney Kardashian had originally tweeted out a picture of a koala bear getting held up and a bottle of water poured onto its nose or whatever.
Yeah.
And it said 500 million animals have died in the fires with a crying emoji, and it was a link to an ABC article.
Really using her platform to try to bring attention to
So
this.
then this woman quote tweeted Kourtney and said, "You have the fucking money to stop it, bitch," which is asinine in itself. Like Kourtney.
That's really harsh. You was nice to her the first time.
Well, this is what I initially saw that I quote tweeted.
No, I know, but
So when I saw that, I was like, "That's fucking disrespectful," and I'm like, "That's always been my problem with the donation thing, where it goes back to before when I talked about that woman trying to pressure me into giving money at the cash register.
Yeah.
I help out people when I want to, how I want to.
Yeah.
I'm not under obligation to do shit because you think I should.
Yeah.
If people want to help, that's great. But if they want to give that to what they can to what they want to, that's on them. It's not on you to think, oh, that person has more money than me, so they should be willing to give their money to this because I think they should.
I mean, in actuality, the more money you have, the harder it is to give. There's other implications. You gotta, have different tax forms and shit. If I just give us, it's oh, you gave $5, good for you, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I went to this woman's page. She has 17,000 followers. So I don't know who the fuck she is. She ain't verified or nothing, but 17,000
how many people
followers.
she following?
1,008.
Okay.
So then I wrote what I wrote, and then she replies, "So the people made her rich, and in turn, she should help the people. Amen." And I started out to write out this giant thing about what the fuck do you expect her to do? Just go hire buy a bunch of helicopters and fly water drops over Australia or something? I'm like,
It's probably illegal to do that.
I'm like
Everything about it. Yeah, I hear you.
yeah. So but this is where I wrote it all out, and then I went, fuck this. And I just deleted it, didn't send it, and I just went about my day because I'm like, what is the point in battling here?
A stranger that you don't give a
Yeah.
damn about who don't give a damn about you.
Yeah.
Are
So
you eating the radicchio?
Nah.
that shit straight up looks like bacon.
It does. It's impressive. Take a picture of that.
A piece of raw bacon?
Might be the show art.
Okay.
So get real artistic with your shit, bro.
Oh, like vegan bacon.
Vegan bacon. There you go.
So, yeah, I had to stop myself on that, and I had a moment where I felt like that's growth, because before I would just went off on a tirade. I probably would have gotten quote tweeted and had a bunch of people attacking me, which I can deal with.
Yeah.
Because in this situation, I didn't feel like I was coming at that person in a violent manner.
Yeah.
It was more of I thought she was on some bullshit, and I was like, this is asinine. How is it people think that it's okay to act like this?
Yeah.
I understand wanting good for the world, but you gotta temper your expectations and be a little more I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here, but it's almost like people who are afraid of failure and they try so hard to control the situation.
Yeah.
Like the lady who sits in front of me at work who's learning how to do this job. She's so afraid of fucking up that she becomes stiff and scared and afraid to act, and her sensibilities get all thrown off.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to fail. You gotta be willing to get rejected. You know, like maybe Kourtney Kardashian's not gonna donate $1 million, but like she did something.
Again, like I said, she used her.
She just didn't do what you wanted her.
She used her bully pulpit to spread the word that this is going down, which is already a big deal. Kourtney Kardashian probably got like 1 million followers, on the humble, on the low part of things. So she did that. Again, we have no idea what she donated to the cause. She could have put all kinds of money on.
Her presence is a present.
It really is. I'm
Yeah.
And then not only that, like, in order for her to see that somebody in her circle, either she follows her directly or somebody she follows. So
I bet this woman is like one of those types of people who just waits for shit bad to happen and then like stalks celebrities and they're like, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
Why aren't you helping?
She clearly don't.
Like you make a name off of like dredging up animosity.
Yeah, and clearly don't like the Kardashians for whatever reason. Because like I said, people who don't like them within reason, I can almost be like whatever. Like somebody. When Black Guy Tips was talking about how recently Kim had pictures of there, she looked super dark in them pictures. Which I was just like, I was laughing about it until I looked at the pictures. I was like, ooh, yeah, you do look super dark in that picture. They were like, she could control that. I'm like, I guess she could have controlled that to some degree. But at the same time, she also was taking pictures for a magazine. You kind of just like let them take the the wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're just whatever. So
isn't that what happened with those Drake pictures?
I'm sorry. Oh no, that Drake picture. Drake took those pictures. But it was a art project.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that kind of in the same vein?
Sort of. Like
she didn't dress in blackface.
It's the difference between like
Drake literally looked like a minstrel.
Yeah, it's the difference between like painting your face, like to in clear black, like not really like blackface, but as a minstrel. Like if you paint your face like Mickey Mouse, there's no way of really editing around that. She had like what you was like called like maybe like self tanner or something else. Like one is a character, one is just like like being a shade darker.
Plus, she took
could a white person do Mickey Mouse, or is it too close to the line? I'm not trying to look for a loophole. I'm seriously asking.
Yeah, you could do Mickey Mouse, I suppose. But you could just wear big fat white gloves and then.
Yeah, because that's my thing. Is like, do I have to make the skin that color, like, or is it like too close to the line of that to like where it's not worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze?
I mean, unless like your lady is dressed up like Minnie, when is it really ever worth the squeeze?
Now, wouldn't they like? I guess maybe follow their lead in that regard.
I mean, I feel like if you just put on a black nose,
or just cut your losses and go Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy.
And that's he right. You can just paint your nose, put some ears on, put some big gloves on, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
it's way too easy to do it for you not to be like, well, I'm trying to get
I want to be authentic.
I want to be authentic to Mickey's cause.
I do feel like Robert Downey Jr. do get a caveat at Tropic Thunder. Man, he was so good in that.
Plus, that the blackface was a part of that movie. You know what I'm saying?
He's about to cross some serious lines.
Yeah, it like I said,
I want to watch that right now. Yeah, that was part of the character. I kind of feel like when it comes to blackface, like you can say nigga, but you expect what's gonna come with it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna wear blackface, like, hey, I believe in what I'm doing. Like, am I doing this like it's coonery? Or flattery.
I feel like there's a potential for like something bad to happen too in that regard. Like, what happens if you go to the party and everything's going well, you're Mickey Mouse, things are going, and then like say you go stop at like a convenience store after the party, and like you took the gloves off to drive and the ears were kind of hurting your head, so you walk into the store and you're not gloved up and you're not earsed up, so suddenly you don't look like Mickey Mouse anymore. You just look like a dude in blackface.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, was that Gatorade worth it? Don't you got 4?
That's what I'm saying.
But drawing back to the point that took us down that alley is people be mad at the Kardashians because they want to be mad at the Kardashians. They don't think they have earned their place in whatever, even though at this point haven't they? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess like for me it was just on the like it always circled back to the notion of like nobody owes you shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
And just because they're celebrities and they have money doesn't mean they owe you shit.
Yeah.
And at the same time, so with that being said, if she would have put like, I just put down 10K, guys.
And then someone would be like, oh, well, you have more money. Why couldn't you do 30? Or why couldn't, like, there's never enough.
And they're like, oh, you donated and you couldn't just keep that private?
Yeah.
No matter what, she can win no matter what she did.
Yeah. And so, She, like I said, I think she did. She did what she did.
That's why I feel like I said like like I feel like really like people like this lady, and I don't know her. I don't never seen her before this happened.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like she's the type of person like. Then I think there are these kind of people who they get kind of like internet famous off of dredging up these kind of controversies with people.
Yeah.
And then other people who feel similarly, just it's the minority and like the loud minority thing, where these people band together and they just go on these pitchfork raids where like it's like you're not doing enough in my opinion. Like so, like fuck this lady and fuck these people.
It was funny. Speaking of the black guy who tips, it was like this lady who met. What's the one? She met Lena. Her platform, like part of the thing she did was to call Lena Dunham a piece of shit. Like, you do this, and like some of the stuff is like maybe valid, but at the end of the day, she met Lena Dunham like in real life, and then like it was like, man, she's not that bad. And like they got to talking and stuff, and then like Lena Dunham, after like she met her, Lena Dunham looked her up too. And she's like, man, you've been talking shit about me all these years, and like you're the one that did this and this. Is like I'm so like they apologized to each other, and like they got to know each other a little bit better. Then like she went on her platform and like, look, I actually met her. And then all her fans were like, what the fuck you doing? Fuck you now. Yeah. So like you can't win in this day and age. It was like when you get to a certain point of popularity, you might meet some of the people that you've been talking shit about all this time, and like they might be worse, they might be better, but you already like sullied yourself. Like just be a normal person. Like there's no reason to like try to put yourself higher on somebody else's name.
Yeah, I was kind of more mad at myself that like I had kind of stepped into the social media world again, and like I was like, this is what I'm doing. Because like I haven't posted on Facebook in 5 weeks. I've been on there as far as like people tagging me in things or whatever. Like I've commented or hit yes or no to parties and shit like that. But I haven't posted any statuses. I haven't posted a picture to Instagram on my page since I went to the Steelers game, which was the same day I posted on Facebook. I did put up like I have been putting up stories every time I finish a book, but that's it. And then Twitter, like every now and again I'll retweet something with like a little joke or something. But like that was the first time I like social media'd, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do with this. Like no, I'm getting out of here. This is too much.
Yeah. Social media is one of those things like. I mean, we're all getting older, and I know, like, in the next couple of years, it's going to be something else. I'm just deciding, like, when, Fugal comes out, like, am I going to be in the Fugal brigade?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I find that I care less and less now. Like, I'm very much, like, just, like, I'm cool with what I got. Like, I'll if something new comes out and I have to adapt to it or learn it or whatever, that's fine. But it's like I'm fully aware of the fact that TikTok is an app. I haven't downloaded TikTok.
I don't even want to be in. I don't even want to be in an atmosphere. Plus, I'm old. So
it's unnecessary to me.
Yeah.
Like you can make the same videos and stuff on all the other platforms. It does nothing, in my opinion, that's any different really than like the other shit from what I've seen.
Plus, it's owned by some Chinese consortium, and they have all kinds of
I've seen Vine
stuff going on.
I've seen Snapchat. I've seen Instagram stories and stuff. Like it's all the same shit. Why do I gotta have another app that does the same shit?
Yeah. So if it goes in the tree, it won't burn the tree down.
Okay.
Because the fuel of itself, it'll burn itself. It's like tissue paper.
Yeah, the actual outside of it is made out of tissue paper, but the other part,
like, how does it get so high up in the sky without burning out though?
Because it's light, and the heat is still heat. Heat rises.
But I mean, like, how long can it burn up into the air before it goes out?
I don't know.
Because that's my thing. It's like you're saying, like if it hits, like say you put it
out of mind.
It's like I was like you light it on the ground in the street, and then it like immediately goes into the tree. But then, like in your video, I watched it go off in the sky, like to the point where you couldn't even see it anymore. So it obviously burned for a few minutes.
It goes up, but like it's semi-dangerous, yes. And she freaks out about it every year.
Oh, she definitely panicked, like in that video.
We do like it looks nice. It's supposed to be for like good luck.
She definitely acted like she was standing there and there was a cockroach that ran by.
Yeah, I know not to do no real dirt around her from that video. I know not to do no real illegal shit that she'll be looking at me funny but that was the first one. we did another one after we went in the house and we came back out.
Coast was clear and everything.
No, yeah,
It's like Grand Theft Auto. The meter went down.
Yeah, the meter had went down, and we had like one more to do. The other one had ripped up, so it's like, well, let's just do this last one, and they'll all be done. That one hit a tree again, but this time like it ripped and the little candle fell out, and it fell in our neighbor's yard. And then like she never came to help, and I was like, what? She's like, she had went all the way back to our house. Like,
she left you.
Yeah,
wow.
like so I went to go get the stuff. She didn't go make sure nothing was happening because so the little candle fell out, which is just like compressed wax and like some kind of
Like a sterno.
no. Like it's like
A tea light?
yeah, it's like a tea light, but like with something that like compressed fiber in the middle.
Okay.
So like once that burns out, it'll pretty much fall, and it's like very light tissue paper and very light wire. But so, like I said, the candle had fell out of this one, and then like the actual lantern was like skewed this way, and like so I ran and got the it's snow on the ground, so like the flame went out. But the other part I had to go get, which is it's just I just don't want to leave trash in my neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
So, but then I realized I dropped my phone outside and it's dark as fuck because it's like maybe like 5 streetlights on our street. It's not like, and then like I had to go find it, and then like my phone went out because like she kept on calling it, and that made the battery go down.
And it was cold. So.
It was cold.
Yeah.
So then like I got a wet phone that I can't. Luckily I had got one of those chargers that you can just sit my phone on top of from Marks.
Induction charger. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna do it no more unless we go to the beach, something like that. Yeah, it's fun to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not that fun to her. Because she was on edge about it. And she always is. She's like, well, we got to do it in the street. And I was just like, I don't like these neighbors anyway. Let's just do it.
Well, Xander left. He went to go to Dylan's for New Year's.
How's old Dylan been? Any more? No more like late night creeps and all that kind of stuff?
As far as I know, bro. You know what? I can't call
But Hot Boy Summer is over, though.
Yeah, so Lily had a friend over, and so you know what I'm saying, we did New Year's at the house with the girls, and that was real nice. We always do the Christmas crackers. I don't know if y'all seen those before. You know, you pull them apart, they snap. They got jokes in them and crowns and stuff.
I didn't know
like
they
that.
had jokes and crowns.
Yeah, and a little toy in them. And then I saw they had a confetti cannon for like $2.50 at Target when I went and got the crackers. I was like, oh, that's gonna be fun. And so I did a confetti cannon just as we hit midnight, and that bad boy was like, it really was fun. I was like, I went to go buy more of them hoes. They were sold out. So I was like, damn it, I'm gonna order me some.
Yeah, look online to see if they got some clearance ones.
Yeah, that was real fun. I got that from Target. That was a delight. Drank a little champagne. Vanessa finally got us actual champagne glasses as opposed to a little plastic joint. So we actually have some nice glass now.
Some flutes.
Yeah. So that was lovely. And I didn't really watch any, I played video games until I was like, oh, it's like 15 minutes till. Let me start setting up and get the bottles out, crack the bottle so everything, so I don't want to try to pop a bottle at midnight because it just ain't gonna work.
Oh, I did. Well, we had some Peak Moscato champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's just I just don't give a shit about New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I don't feel the need to watch the ball drop on TV. I don't feel the need to go to a party. The fireworks going off outside my house is kind of actually more annoying because it was freaking my cats out.
Yeah, before everything started, we were sitting on the couch. Well, I was sitting on the couch and with the boys, and my girlfriend was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Be asleep by 10." And then she was just like, "Oh, whatever." I was like, "But."
I was happy to get out of work. They let us go. So they let me come in and work 8 to 5.
Yeah.
But then they actually let me out at 4:30, which I thought was a little fucked up. In that the lady in front of me, she strolled in at 8:35, so she's already 5 minutes late to begin with, and then she didn't come in early. And then she shows up oh, what are you doing here already? I go, they told us multiple times that we could come in early. She goes, oh, I must have missed that. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, have fun working till 5:30, and then nope, gets that, like, I got to work at 7:20 that day, and then she strolled in at 8:35, and we left at the same time.
Yeah, people get pissy about that like every year because I'm like, everybody's a bit like, I have to drop my kids off at a certain time, and I'm like, I'm not coming in at 8 o'clock with y'all. Fuck that. Like, I would have to get my kids ready an hour early when they already be fighting me in the morning. Man, I swear I'm gonna punch one of those kids if they get t-shirt, toothpaste on another shirt, and I gotta go change it right before we go. So, like, it's like one of those things. Like,
that's why I brush my teeth before I get in the shower.
I brush my teeth sometimes in the shower, but yeah, I'm not on that same page. I just feel like it's not fair for everybody to leave at 3. I really don't want to leave at 3 anyway. Like, I want to earn all the money I can. You fucking up my money.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, like, what if you just don't want to leave? Everybody don't have a family. Everybody don't celebrate these holidays.
Well, it's not like they kicked us out.
Oh, they kick us out.
They
don't kick us out.
I got approached like, "Are you leaving?" I'm like, "I'm just want to finish up what I'm working on," and then yes, I'm leaving.
I've seen people straggling over in your department like hours after you guys have left.
Yeah, they probably hide out or something like that, but they literally be like,
But you guys' department's funny in that, like, even on like Saturdays, like, there has to be a manager on site. Like,
they didn't know I was still there Saturday, and they just like literally turned off the lights and left my ass. My computer exceeded logins.
Okay.
So I had to wait so I could clear, and I was just like, huh. So y'all just straight up left your boy, lights off, didn't say peace or nothing. Okay.
It's this dude who is just like, I feel like he's the dickiest dick of all time, and he was on charge on a Saturday. And like it was like 12:15, and on top of that, he was still there. He was like, when you're supposed to be gone around, like, I still got some files I have to finish. And then he was just like, well, you gotta go. And I was just like, no, I gotta finish my files, then I'll leave.
Yeah.
And then he told my boss, but then he also told his boss, and his boss was like, you must have did something to Anthony because Anthony don't do shit like that. And he was like, what? And he was like, yeah, you must have came at Anthony wrong because I used to be Anthony's boss and Anthony don't do that type of stuff. What did you do? And then he went above him and went to his boss, and his boss was like, yeah, what'd you do to Anthony?
We've been there a long time.
Yeah.
A very long time. We got some deep pockets and some deep peoples.
Then he came to me like, I apologize. Everybody seems to be like, that wasn't in your character or something like that. I was like, man, you're pretty rude, man. Like, I just had to finish my file. Oh, then he talked to my boss. He's like, yeah, Anthony might have had back then we had what's the ones in New York called again?
Co-ops.
Yeah, he might have had a co-op. He might have had this. Like, he had to finish his work. So yeah, they're always on that shit. They treat us like babies over there. Mm-hmm. And
whereas like I was like, if OT's open, I can come and go as I please.
Yeah, I feel like once my kid situation get better, I think I'm gonna go to retail.
Stack this Freddie. All right, you had said you had some stuff you wanted to share with us, and I wanted to get that knocked out before it get too late.
Yeah, especially since I gotta go eat lunch still.
Yeah.
But we got like a half hour.
Cool.
So going backwards, I guess. Christmas. So it was the same deal as New Year's, where like I was able to come in early, and they were gonna let us out at 5. And then that day, Christmas miracle happened. And
it really was a Festivus miracle because that never happened.
Because that never happens.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked at this company a long time now, and everyone in here knows. It's one of those things where it's like everybody knows it, but like we're not supposed to talk about it. Whereas like their department, and by their I mean T and Anthony, everyone knows their department always leaves early on holidays. Our other department in the other corner of the building always leaves, and then the rest of us, it's like they might sometimes let some of us go, but like our department I'm in, nah. Like, we get the privilege of being able to wake up earlier and then leave. We still got to put in the full 8.
Yeah.
So that's why when our bosses came out of their morning meeting they do every day, and they're like, oh, hey, we have an announcement. You guys can all leave at 3. I was like, the fuck? Shit. shit, don't have to tell me twice. So I got out of work like 3 hours earlier than I normally would have, but I had to go in early, so it was only 2 hours of freedom.
Yeah.
And so I originally had said that I couldn't make it to my uncle's girlfriend's. I don't like at this point, like they've been together for so long, I don't know if I start calling her my aunt or what, because they're not married or nothing, but I'm just gonna stick with uncle's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so she had planned a Christmas Eve party, and she put it on Facebook, and I had said I couldn't go because I originally thought I was going to be working until 5.
Yeah.
And the way her itinerary broke down on the page, I would have...
She has a breakdown?
She's a planner.
There was like, we're going to do this at this time. And it's not like a rule with an iron fist kind of thing.
Yeah. But hors d'oeuvres at this time.
Yeah. We'll do this gift game at like the white elephant thing at this time.
Yeah.
And it was like the way she broke it down, I was going to miss everything.
Yeah.
I was going to show up to dinner like 2 hours late. I was going to miss all the festivities before that. So I was like, well, at that point, everything will be over. And, what's the point of me driving out there if everything's already done? And like, because I know how people are. People like once dinner's over, they hang out for a while and then they dip.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna show up when everyone starts dipping. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to come because I'm working.
Yeah.
So then that day when that happened, I was like, well, shit, let me think about this, because I'm like, if I get off at 3, it'll take me 45 minutes to drive out there. And then dinner's supposed to start at 4. I'd be there at 3:45, so I can make dinner. I'm like, all right. So I'm like going there and seeing everybody and like getting to eat with everyone. Like at least that's something. So I'm like, I can do that. So I went back to the page and I'm like, oh hey, they changed my time. I can show up, so I'll be there. So I left work and I drove out there. And now I'm thinking like, because usually like at these parties, it's usually like my uncle's girlfriend, my cousin, and then like my grandmother's usually there, and then like my uncle's girlfriend's parents will show up, or like her family comes, and then like my parents and siblings usually come. So when I got there, and it was just like my whole family wasn't there, but it was like my one uncle who sails around the world and stuff, like he was there, which I didn't know he was even in town. And then my uncle was there with my cousin, and my uncle's girlfriend's parents were there.
With a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it was literally 3, 6, 7 people. Yeah. That was it. And I'm just like, I was like, oh, hey, is grandma coming? And then they're like, oh, no, like, your dad's doing Christmas at his house, or like today. And I'm just like, what? So, like, for a moment, I was just like, oh, shit. Because I was thinking, like, everyone was going to be there. And all of a sudden, like, I find out that there was, like, a second gathering or whatever. So I'm like, oh. And then I noticed that like they were just finishing up the white elephant thing, which is fine because like obviously I didn't buy anything for it because I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it to begin with. But then I noticed that like half the table was drunk, and it was only 3:45 in the afternoon. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So in my mind, like how I am with anxieties and stuff, and so like obviously I'm comfortable being there because I've been there so many times now. But I'm like, now things aren't the way that I thought they were going to be. Yeah. So my anxiety started rising because like now I'm having to figure out everything on the fly. And when it comes to me hanging out with people that I don't see a lot, that increases it. So I'm like trying to like play everything was cool, but internally like I'm like a duck. I'm like, I look calm above the water, but underneath like my feet are paddling like a motherfucker. So I'm like, okay, well I'm like, I'll figure this out. So I sat down and she went to go like finish putting like dinner together. Like, it was almost done. She just like put it on plates and like serve it and everything. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my uncle, my cousin, and my uncle's like, we're asking him about like his trips. Like basically, I would say if we're being honest, none of us really give a shit, but we feel obligated to ask because like that's our uncle and we haven't seen him in a while. So it's like
he's a merchant marine, French Foreign Legion. What does he do?
Oh, he works for Microsoft. He's a Microsoft contractor.
Why is he on a boat? Why
because he wants to sail.
Oh, he's sailing as in he sails his boat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has 2 boats and like he's trying to give one away, I guess, but he's having a hard time with that because like he's trying to donate it to the church. But they won't do it unless it has like certain things and international. It was like this convoluted shit that he was telling us about, and I was like, "Oh, white people problems." Okay. But so my uncle, this particular uncle, because I have multiples. This particular uncle is 60 now.
Yeah.
And I think he's struggling with that because he's kind of in that like creepy old man sugar daddy type of phase. Because he's like telling us about how he's on this app called Millionaire Matchmakers.
Oh.
And he's like showing me these pictures of these young like 20-somethings that he's been talking to. And he's like, look at this girl. She's in Crown Victoria, Canada or whatever. And I'm just like, that's nice. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, clearly she uses Instagram. Because it was the Instagram filters with the suction cup heart arrow things. And he's like, oh, look at this girl. She's in somewhere in Europe. And I'm just like, you can't find pussy closer than Europe? I'm like, I know you're older in age now. I'm like, but like, you gotta sail over to like fucking New Zealand to try and bag some girl. I'm like, there's hookers all around, my guy. And the thing I found interesting about it was, it's almost like he felt like he was bragging to me.
Yeah.
And like I was supposed to be impressed or something. And I'm just like, dude, if you want to try and use whatever wealth you've accumulated to try and bag some 20-year-old that only wants to sleep with you for your money and you're cool with that, that's on you. I'm like, you're not like cool uncling me right now. I'm like,
that's you, nephew?
yeah, like I don't like.
Holy shit, you're his nephew, the white version of that kind of uncle.
Oh yeah. That's you, uncle?
I mean, like I said, like I don't care who sleeps with who. Like you're both consenting adults. Like if these people want to do that, and you know they're only doing it because you have some money. Because that's the thing I learned. I didn't know about this app before. Like he explained it to me that there's different levels, and you actually get verified on it by giving your bank statements and stuff. So like you don't have to be a millionaire to be on there. You could have thousands and stuff. Yeah, you could be a thousandaire. So he has whatever he has. I don't know his situation. I didn't ask because it's none of my business. I just know he's on this app and that he's talking to these people. So like that was pre-dinner talk, and then like we sat down and had dinner, and it was nice. Like it was like kibasi and pierogies, and it was honestly like a Christmas dinner. I never had a Christmas dinner like that before. It was very like European.
Yeah.
I'm used to like just basically Thanksgiving part 2.
Yeah, but that sounds like a nice little Eastern European meal. You know what I'm saying? All like sausages and
yeah. There was different sausages. There was kibasi. There was pierogies. There was like cheesy like loaded cauliflower. There was some green beans. So it was like a very European type dinner, which was interesting. So then we had like dessert, and like I basically just ate a couple cupcakes and some Godiva chocolates or whatever. Like I didn't eat any of the lemon meringue pie or anything like that. And then so like a bunch of like her parents left, and then the rest of us sat down in the living room. And now this is where it's going to get interesting for a lot of people. So my uncle's girlfriend is a retired school teacher.
Yeah.
But now in like her retirement, she is a sex counselor.
Okay.
For women.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think like my family, if you know us, like I'm similar to how my members of my family are, where like I'm very honest. Like most topics aren't taboo for me. I'm willing to make a dirty joke or a joke at my own expense.
Yeah.
A lot of us are the same in that regard. So my cousin, I think like she has a hard time just like, she thinks because we're like this that there's something wrong with us in a way. Like it's almost like she's embarrassed by it. Mm-hmm. And I had to explain to her that like, you should be happy we are the way we are because we're honest people, but we're also good natured.
Yeah.
So like while we may be wacky and kind of like over the top, we're good people.
Mm-hmm.
So my uncle's girlfriend like was like talking to my uncle, the sailor one, about
Popeye.
About some of what she teaches the women that she helps.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very like, oh, I don't know, you guys will mind if we talk about this, or like, you know, will this be too much for you? I'm like, I do a podcast with a bunch of buddies. We talk about like shit all the time. Yeah. I'm like, honestly, I'm interested to hear this from a female perspective because usually it's just 4 dudes sitting around talking about this kind of shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, feel free to talk about whatever you want. Nothing will like offend me or upset me or freak me out. I'm like, we can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So she actually like she had been drinking all day, but not in like a
over the moon.
Drinking all day.
Yeah, she was just like, she had been sipping on wine. She was primed all day long.
Yeah.
So I think she was, and she'll probably confirm this later, I imagine. But she seemed excited at the prospect of being able to share some of the knowledge that she's gained, because this is like an exciting thing for her now. That like this is kind of like her hobby job, and so the fact that I was cool talking about it. And like my uncle was willing, but he was more apprehensive, I think. My cousin just didn't want to hear this kind of talk in front of her dad. That's where
I get that. I get that.
But like, so we went down this path, and she had like a diagram. Well, it was like a model. So
A vagina model?
it was like the inside of a vagina. It was made out of wood. It was like hand sculpted and shit. So it looked kind of like a Klingon starship would kind of look. And
Bird of prey.
she was like talking about like how like it takes like 25 to 30 minutes for a woman to actually be primed to enjoy sex, and that like there's like things that happen inside there that a lot of women don't even. It was like all these technical things and all this stuff, and I'm being very vague on purpose right now, but
You don't want to steal her shine, put her out of
exactly,
business.
because that's the thing is like, I'm gonna fast forward to the end. I'm gonna Quentin Tarantino this a little bit. I invited her to come on the show. Friending your guys is okay. I figured I knew you guys would be cool with it.
Yeah, we don't. At least, yeah.
Yeah, so she wants to do the show because she listens to podcasts and stuff that are on the topic, and I told her that like we've actually, because Gabe's sister came on and did similar shit back in the day. I told her like I would go over all this with you guys, and that we would figure out a way for her to come on and we could all kind of discuss it as a group. I thought it would be interesting since this is now her area of expertise. But anyway, so to Quentin Tarantino, my way back to the original point. So this conversation started around 7, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'll do this for a while, and then because I have a 45-minute drive home from there, I'm thinking I'll hang out for a little while, and then I'm gonna go home so I can just hang out and go to sleep and enjoy the rest of the night. I ended up being there until like 10:15. This conversation carried on for over 3 hours, and not in a bad way.
So, but was it just mainly you and her, or like everybody?
So for a long, probably about half that time, it was everybody, and then around like 8:30ish, my uncle left. So then I hung out there, and we just talked about like anxieties and life lessons, and I got in like it had gone from like talking about like sex and different like techniques and learning about the body and all these different things, and then when he left, it like me and her and my cousins, my uncle was there too, but he was just kind of there for like hanging out in the recliner, half napping.
Yeah, because I hear about this all the time.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about anxiety and like learning to fail and being okay with that and what you take from it. It was like all these psychological, physiological things. So, it was just a lot of things were learned that night, like about my family that I didn't know. That I was like, wow. The different discussions, I found it refreshing to be able to have adult conversations with people without people feeling awkward about it, which I think is a problem a lot of the times where people like it's like they think like a lot of the world doesn't treat these subjects as taboo anymore, other than when we're talking to other people. Like we'll all go home and watch our own porn and like do things that we're into. That was part of the discussion, was learning what you are cool with and enjoying what makes you happy in that regard.
Yeah.
Like exploring your own boundaries and making yourself happy, like taking time to enjoy yourself and things like that. Like whether you're alone and it's a masturbation session, or whether you're with a partner and you figuring each other. It was learning to explore your boundaries and your happinesses and all. That was the basic discussion point of the whole thing. But it was nice to be able to have a conversation like that where people didn't feel awkward about it. Well, for the most part.
I kind of feel like
my cousin was just awkward about it because her dad was sitting there, and she's like in her mid-20s, so for her it's weird to be talking about sex in front of her dad because she doesn't think of her dad as a sexual being. That's just her dad.
Yeah.
That's how she got there.
And you're like,
that's my point.
And you're of course one step removed from him, so it's like it's not uncomfortable to you.
At this point, like I would talk about that in front of anyone. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'll talk about it in front of my stepmom, my dad, my siblings, my grandmothers. I don't care.
Yeah.
My grandmother, the one grandmother,
The churchy one?
The churchy one, I probably not do it in front of her just out of respect because I know she's kind of reserved in that regard.
Yeah.
But like I would make I joke with her, but not about that kind of stuff. But I would do it in front of everybody else.
I'm sure she went to go see Behind the Green Door back in the day at the theater.
Well, the thing is, I learned some stuff that night that she knew about other people that like it's an off-air conversation.
Okay. Well, yeah, like maybe we can figure out a way to have her on. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of our recordings at his house. We'll just make that there. We'll make it there. You know what I'm saying? That's breezy. So nothing to it.
Yeah, because I gave her the link to our podcast,
Yeah.
and she actually went and listened to some of it and said she said she enjoyed it.
See, I got some talking points. That Tatum, he sucks.
Now we didn't get that deep, but she's very interested in coming on.
Yeah.
And so I told her I would talk to you guys and get back to her. Now, obviously, like we were supposed to do this last week at my house, and we ended up having to cancel it. So this is the first I'm talking to you guys about it.
Right.
I've been holding it in for like 2 weeks now.
2 weeks to the day.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I figure we'll set it up and we'll figure out a time where we can all get together and come up with some questions maybe and, you know, have a discussion. Because it was I felt like some discussions in that regard, people might like be set in their ways or whatever, but it was actually very open and honest and like there was like questions on both sides and like it was a good open forum, I would say.
Yeah.
And so I felt like it would be interesting for the listeners to hear something in that regard because we have dabbled in that regard before.
For sure. But it's always been from the mostly from the male perspective.
Exactly.
The male gaze. And just having a lady come through with who and I ain't that a well versed lady.
That was the thing. Like when Gabe's sister was on, it was a woman's perspective. But like my uncle's girlfriend like is an actual teacher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's like, you know, professionalism to it, like where like some knowledge has been gleaned from study.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just life experience.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm down with that. If you want to be a guest on the show and you think you have something to add, you can holler at us. We'll see. It's relatively easy. Let's see. By the time you hear this, you might have heard a commercial in this for a sports podcast that is getting down with this team. Yeah, that happened. I'm not saying we're a big deal or anything like that, but we're working on trying to, you know, to get a team, get the superhero team popping. We got some things going on. You have gotten a video every month if you are a patron, and probably about the same if you are just subscribed to the YouTube channel. We make that stuff happen. Me and Box got some things we got popping right that literally record here actually very soon. I'm very excited about that. So what's going down over here in these States Country Milk Streets? We gets down like this for a fucking reason.
Good time Charlie Streets.
I'm gonna throw you a link in the show notes that makes it wicked easy for you to go and review this God blessed show. You literally just gotta go hit that button. It's gonna take you right where you need to go to, so you can go ahead and give us a review on iTunes.
It's wicked easy because the show's wicked awesome.
So I mean, just look it up for you boys. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna stick a fork in it, of course. I don't know if you knew I was wrapping it up, but I am. I'm wrapping it up, B.
It's over. Go to another show.
Wrap that shit up, B.
Listen to another episode. This one is done.
That's Tatum 216. Lunchbox 209 now. Our missing man is at the real ODP, who the other day got so in somebody's ass, and I'm in a place where I was like, thank you for, you got to, this time, Gabriel, just burn it down, baby. Burn it all down. The other time I tried to stop Gabriel, this time I'm like, fuck that dude, fuck everybody like him, burn it down. So
you can't be giving him mixed messages.
Okay,
like that.
hey, I made a point to say
he got a thirst for it now.
I made a
fucking enabler.
I made a point to say this go around, man. He got to get it. So
this is like you trying to tell me to eat the banana. I'm not gonna eat the fucking banana.
You don't want to eat the banana. The other dude wants you to eat the banana.
You don't think I want to eat a cookie?
No, actually, I don't think that you want to eat a cookie anymore.
I do and I don't.
Yeah, see?
I do, but then I know what comes with it.
Yeah,
it's hard.
So no, I don't think you want to eat that.
It's like you know, edible schizophrenia.
I am the Internet Stay 713. You've just been podcast 2. I know you loved it.
Or at least liked it.
You enjoyed it.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.